All right, we are live. All right. Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. All right, this was really just on the cuff. I've been working all day long. It's been a very long day. Been up since around 5:30 a.m. this morning. Started my day um, with a group of women from my academy. And we have been engaging in a meditation process, just meditating on the Word of God early in the morning and prayer and studying, and so that we can shift in our mindsets and begin to eliminate uh, limited thinking and self sabotaging behaviors, and really just focusing in on a scarcity mindset. And so, anyway, it's been a long day, and I wanted to come on and just kind of teach on hello, hello, hello. Just really want to teach on something. I've been busy, you guys, because I am well on my way to starting my first cohort for the Destiny Blueprint coaching certification. Hey, everybody, say hello. Let me know you're here. I appreciate it. Typically, I try to, when I'm online, I try to look and see who's watching and say hello and greet them. And I sometimes I'll use my phone to do that, but I'm actually using my phone tonight to take notes. So, and I'm gonna try to be brief, but anyway, before I continue, let me start by saying, hey, everybody. My name is Candace B. Woods. I am a mindset business coach, and I have the pleasure of being able to successfully help um, many women in business, startups, um, those individuals who have a desire to be Christian authors and Christian coaches. I help them design, plan, and develop a compelling vision for their life and their businesses. And so God has me focusing in on mindsets, and really putting an emphasis not only on mindset, but on biblical principles and how we can apply, kingdom principles to our lives in order to begin to renew our minds, transform our minds, and renew our minds. And so I'm excited about the season that I'm in, and I'm grateful and thankful that He started with me. He started with me in my healing process and the shifting of my mindsets, my mindset, and being able to identify, limited beliefs and hindrances and barriers that have been keeping me stuck and holding me back from going to my next level assignment. And so, in that, I wanted to take a moment just to come on and talk a little bit about what the difference is between actually coaching and counseling. And I've been blessed to be able to engage in both of those professions. And in a lot of ways, I still combine the two, right? And so, what I mean by combining the two is, there are some distinct differences between coaching and counseling. However, because I have a counseling background, I have a degree in clinical mental health counseling, I've been able to utilize a lot of the tools, the therapeutic tools, in my business, and it helps me in being able to identify where someone is in their process of change. And then also, it's been helpful in being able to identify when someone has concerns or struggles that are out kind of outweigh or are um, a little bit outside of my area and my capacity to help them. And so I am able to then refer them to a counselor, therapist that can help them. And then, essentially they can come back and work with me in coaching, in the coaching capacity. So I thought it would be helpful to come on and just kind of share a little bit about what the differences are. I'm in a different environment, and so I had to put up a background and all that good stuff because you have to do what you have to do sometimes. So that's what you see in the background right now. So I thought it was kind of cool to kind of have a change, of scenery a little bit. So, again, I want to welcome those of you who are on this evening, this late night kind of teachable moment in a sense. I appreciate you for joining me, and I also appreciate you for liking and commenting and sharing this information, especially with someone who you believe um, um, would benefit from this conversation and understanding what the difference between coaching and consulting is. And so it's not a secret. I'm promoting right now my mindset certification program where I'm certifying um, next level mindset coaches, and I'm excited because I have already started my interview process. I set a goal for how many ladies I wanted to work with, and I am almost at my goal. I've almost reached my goal. And so, but I wanted to continue to share this information because there might be someone who is on the fence about joining me in the certification program, who wants to know, do I have what it takes, or, and maybe you might believe that um, or assuming that it's more of a counseling type perspective where you're going to need, extensive training, you're going to need a degree, or you're going to need some other, labels or titles, or something bigger than what you might necessarily need in order to embark upon a coaching business. So I wanted to kind of set the record straight and come on and teach a little bit about the difference between coaching and counseling. So if this is something that may benefit you, I want you to lean in, tune in, because I'm going to give you some differences. But for those of you who may know someone who may have a desire to be a coach, I want you to share this out with them and share this with them, because I still have a couple of openings, and I want to fill this program, you guys. As a matter of fact, I'm believing God for overflow. And so I really want to share this information and kind of offer some perspective about the differences between the two. So, what's the difference between a coach and a counselor? First of all, the first thing that I want to make note about is, and I'm reading my notes because I want to make sure I get it right, because this is really, really important to make sure that, we're clear about the difference between a coach and a consultant. I mean, a coach and a counselor. And so, first of all, coaching is a process where a coach supports a person to achieve a specific personal or professional goal by providing training and guidance. And so, what I look at that as is, you don't have to have a degree in order to coach, right? You can be on your job and you can be just in a someone who has been on a job for quite some time, and you can coach in your everyday profession or your everyday job, right? There are individuals who are considered managers, supervisors, leads at their jobs, who operate in coaching in a sense, because you're helping people in a personal or professional capacity, helping them reach a goal or obtain a goal, helping them to grow in a skill set, right? And so a coach is someone who has experience. Maybe you've had training, maybe you've been have a certain system in place where you can take that system and guide someone else through a process so that they can get a certain result, right? And so for many of us, we have a coaching skill set, or we've coached in some capacity in our lives, and we don't always know that that's what we're doing or consider that as what we're doing. As a matter of fact, I was talking with a prospective client who's now a part of the certification program, and she talked about how she's been, had several years of experience in her profession being a leader, and she's grown to a capacity in her profession where she knows and understands her job so well that now she's able to guide other individuals who come into the profession. She's able to guide them through how to grow in their respective roles. And so she's been in a leadership capacity for quite some time, and so she saw this as an opportunity for now she can and I talked about this last week. She can reinvent herself, and she can start her own business as a coach. And so this is an opportunity for her to do that. And so coaches kind of, you don't necessarily have to have a degree or certification to become a coach, but I highly suggest that you learn the skill set of coaching if you desire to become a coach. Okay, same way that it's required for you as a counselor to go through a degree program in order to become a counselor. Okay, and so counseling, on the flip side of that, counseling is a process where a counselor provides assistance and guidance to a person in resolving personal or psychological problems, right? And so the difference between a coach and a counselor is a coach really works with individuals who are in a stable place emotionally, physically, and high performance, right? And so they are higher performing in a sense. Not to say that they have limitations. Those who need counseling have limitations. But what I mean by that is that they're in uh, a place emotionally where they're stable, and where they are able to process a little bit differently than individuals who are in counseling. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that I'm not offending anybody by saying that. But that's the difference for me. And so a coach is going to help you with a skill set, is going to help you with performance, is going to help you with reaching a certain goal. Counselors help you with psychological problems, depression, anxiety, mental health type psychological problems. And so that's what counselors do. And that's why counselors have to have a greater extensive level of training in order to be able to help those individuals. Okay. I hope that makes sense. All right. And so again, let me stop now and say, hey, if you have questions, post them in the comments, and I will make sure that if I don't answer them right now, I'll go back and answer them a little bit later. Okay, so a coach, another thing that a coach does is help you set and achieve goals, right? And so let's say you are and I use the type of coaching that I do, which is mindset coaching. Let's say you're coming in and you say, hey, Candace, I'm really struggling right now with procrastination. Like I put things off. I put things off. I put things off. I wait to the last minute to get things done. And I really need help with that. Right. And so, what I would do as your coach is I'm going to help you achieve your goal of overcoming procrastination. And we're going to put a plan in place on things that you can do, and exercises or things that you can engage in order to help you with your eliminate procrastination. And we might even talk through some things as far as the root issue or the root cause of your procrastination. Most of the time the root cause of procrastination is fear, right? And so I'll help you by helping you kind of think about where did your fear of success or fear of what you want to accomplish, where did it come from? What, why are you afraid? Is it fear of judgment? Is it fear of success? Is it fear of failure? And so I kind of go help you, guide you through this process, of kind of thinking about what's the root issue, right? Now, a counselor could kind of, sort of address the same thing, right? But they're going to help you recognize and solve your problems in life, right? And so if you were to go to a counselor and say, hey, I'm struggling with procrastination, right? They're going to guide you through a similar process. And so this is where, counseling and coaching is kind of similar, but this time they're going to consider it from a psychological perspective as well, right? And so if you have anxiety and you're really struggling with your anxiety and struggling with your focus, and you have a chemical imbalance that causes you to or even depression, if you have a chemical imbalance that causes you some, inability to focus, to get out of bed, then the plan for a counselor is going to be very different from a plan of a coach, right? And so they're going to consider maybe medication, maybe teaching you coping skills, things that you can do to decrease your depression or eliminate your depression. And then they may teach you, some other things on, how to get you to a place where you're able to eliminate the procrastination. But the first thing they're going to have to do is treat the depression, right? And so that's the difference between a coach and a counselor. The coach is not necessarily going to be qualified, and I shouldn't say qualified, is not going to address the procrastination until you deal with the depression. And so that would be, in my opinion, and this is just me, in my opinion, I would probably say, hey, let me refer you to a therapist or a counselor or even a psychiatrist to gain, so that you can gain more clarity about where the depression is coming from, why you're depressed, what's going on with that, and allow them to treat that. And then when you get to a higher level of functioning, then we can deal with the procrastination. Okay. And so there's an opportunity, in a sense, for the coach and consult and the counselor to kind of work together to help and support someone who may have, procrastination. But, so the procrastination, if we don't treat the depression, the depression could potentially be, the cause of the procrastination, right? And so that's the difference, between a coach and a counselor. Again, I hope this is making sense. All right, let me see what uh hey, thank you, Jazz. I appreciate it. All right. And so okay, so this is another difference between coaching and counseling, right? And so a coach would focus exclusively on present and future, right? And so we think about what's happening right now, right? And where you want to go in the future. And so it's more of a vision development and helping you to say, okay, where are you now? Where do you want to go? And let's create a plan to help you get there. Okay. A counselor focuses mostly on the present and the past, right? And so a counselor would actually say, okay, where are you now? But let's go back to where this all started. And so we kind of go back a little bit and kind of and drive up, to the present time. And so that's kind of a difference between the two. Now, because I have a coaching and a counseling background, occasionally I kind of go, I kind of go back a little bit too. And a lot of times I go back to help us kind of think about the root causes of our procrastination or limited beliefs. And what I've learned in just my history of in my education and training, what I've learned is that a great deal of us who struggle with limited thinking, that it's a pattern, and oftentimes it's a generational pattern of thinking. And so sometimes, I engage in conversation with my clients about, how they were raised and how they grew up, and who was around them and what was in their environment and what did they see, which could have a impact on the way that their mindset, the way that they think about certain things. And so sometimes I have the luxury of kind of using, counseling tools, or therapeutic tools, and coaching tools. But specifically in my certification program, I there will be some times when I'm going to blur the lines a little bit, but I'm going to be very I'm going to be very strict about not crossing the line, because in counseling, it is very important, that we make sure that we have the education, that we have the knowledge, that we have the tools to be able to guide someone through, mental health struggles. And so I don't play about that. And so when I'm teaching my coaches, I really want to make sure that we're educated about the differences between the two, but also that we are confident enough in what we do, that we recognize when there is a mental health or psychological issue and we need to refer them out, right? And so that's what I really want to equip my coaches in being able to do, overall. But that said, another difference is, coaches are trained in supporting clients to progress in life. Counselors are trained in human development, family dynamics, sexuality, and mental health conditions, right? And so, coaches aren't really knowledgeable about, okay, anxiety. Like, you may not necessarily know, you might know of it, have heard of it, maybe know how to define it, but you're not treating it, right? A counselor or therapist would treat it. A counselor or therapist would give education about it, but then also explain coping skills and offer coping skill or teach coping skills that's going to help their clients in being able to decrease the symptoms of whatever psychological issue that they may have, right? Coaches, we don't touch it. We're not going to touch it, because we don't have the we're not equipped to touch it. And so we might recognize it, we may even teach on it, but we're not equipped to treat it. Okay. And so counselors and therapists are equipped to treat, which is why they have a treatment plan, versus coaches who do more goal setting, and coaches who also do more strategic planning or action planning, right? And so that's going to be a distinct difference between the two. And I'll even say this: coaches don't necessarily have to have a certification or a degree to coach, but counselors must have a degree, and even sometimes, and therapists have to have a license in order to practice in their capacity. Okay. Now I'll explain the difference between the two from my perspective. I have a psychology degree and clinical mental health counseling degree, okay, a graduate level, and a master's in clinical mental health counseling. I had the opportunity to get licensed, but to be honest, I got burned out in working with, mental health, or working in mental health. And so I wanted to figure out how I could use my degree and use the studying, the training, and all of the work history and all of that in a way that I could still be supportive and helpful to people. And I also wanted to be able to combine my beliefs and my values, my Christian values and belief. And so God blessed me to be able to do it in a coaching capacity. And over time, I started to engage in business and helping people to start their businesses, right? And I'm fortunate in that I have, a master's degree, that I have knowledge of therapeutic tools. I have knowledge about, how to engage a client, how to engage a person through a process. So I'm fortunate in being able to do that. And what I wanted to bring to the coaching um, arena, if you will, is just a level of education and knowledge and skill set that I can offer individuals who choose me as a business coach, that I can offer them and being able to help them be more effective in guiding their clients through a process. And so it's a very helpful tool. And like I said, just being able to teach them how to recognize psychological issues, or when something when someone presents something to them, that we're able to kind of identify and discern when it is out of our wheelhouse, outside of our wheelhouse, so that we can begin to refer them to someone who can help them. Okay. Lastly, coaches, once licensed, are not supervised. Counselors and therapists generally have supervision, um, or supervising their work. Okay. And so what does that mean? That means, okay, you can be a licensed coach or a certified coach. Okay. You can be a counselor or you can be a therapist. Okay. Now, let me explain the difference between the two. Now, if you are a coach and you have a license or certification, that means that you have gone to or a certification process where you are trained, and even given some therapeutic tools that you can decide to be. It's kind of like a specification, right? Like for me, it's been mindset coaching and also kind of life purpose coaching. For others, it could be, trauma, where they specifically educate someone about trauma and give them an action plan on how to work through that. A counselor is going to be supervised by a higher authority. Okay. So, an example of that would be when I went through my counseling program, right? In order for me to get a license, I had to be supervised by someone who is already licensed and has the credentials of a supervising therapist, right? So they have to be credentialed in order to supervise me. They have to be given credentials in order to ensure that I am doing what I'm supposed to do in order to build services and in order to counsel others. Okay. So that means that when I have my treatment plan, a higher authority will have to review my treatment plan to make sure that I am going to offer the correct services to the person, to my clients, right? And so I'm going to always have to have someone higher than me sign off on my paperwork. Okay, sign off on my treatment plans. Coaches don't have anybody signing off. Coaches can just say, okay, yep, you accomplish your goal. I believe that you, and they sign you off and check it off, and you keep it moving. Okay. I hope that makes sense. So some most of the time a counselor, um a counselor who's just a counselor like myself, I would have to have a supervisor sign off on my treatment plans, in anything that I do in my profession, in order for it to be considered, um legal. Okay. So if I'm going to work for a company or organization, I can't go out here and just say, "Oh yeah, I'm a counselor, so I can take counseling. I can counsel people." I can't do that. In order for me to be a counselor, I have to be under an LPC, someone in private practice, a psychologist or psychiatrist. That is mandatory. It's a no-no if you're practicing counseling and you're not under supervision. Okay. Now, in order for me to obtain a license as a counselor therapist, I'm definitely going to have to be under someone in order to be supervised. Okay. Now, as a coach, I'm not. I don't have anybody else signing off to make sure that I did what I'm supposed to do, right? I don't have to go through that. There's nobody else above me that signs off on my paperwork or supervises me. Okay. And so there's freedom in that, However, you know, I still believe that coaches should have another coach or someone holding them accountable. I believe in that. I do. And you should always be, someone who wants to learn and grow. So anyway, again, those are the differences between coaching and counseling. I hope that that helps, right? And so if you are someone who has done therapy and counseling, and maybe you're in a place where you're burned out, maybe you're in a place where you're saying, hey, I want to reinvent myself. I want to do something a little bit different. I still want to be able to use the skill sets that I have. I still want to be able to guide people through a process. I still want to be able to get the results, and have experience the intrinsic reward, of seeing people grow and thrive and reach their goals. I still want that. And but maybe, you're in a place where, mental health or, working with that population, you may just be in a place where you're a little burned out and you just want to change. This coaching program that I have is called Destiny Blueprint Coaching Certification. It's an opportunity for you to reinvent yourself, still use the training, the knowledge, the wisdom that you gained in your years of education, but you're able to make it your own and do what and call the shots in a sense, and still you're able to do something that you love, right? And so this is a 12-week program that I'm guiding my clients through. It is a program that that's very important to me. I love being able to help other women in particular, even though I will work with men as well. But I love to be able to help them reach their goals of starting their own businesses. I've been so excited and blessed to go through some of the interviews and talk with a lot of the women who have joined the certification program, and just hearing their stories, their backgrounds. I have one amazing, lovely young woman who has a counseling degree, was a school counselor, and now she's saying, "Hey, I really want to go back into it. I haven't done it in a while, but I really want to get back into doing this, and I believe that this is an opportunity for me to do that and to just to learn some other business fundamentals, to be able to do something on my own, and bring some extra income in, right? So this was a great opportunity for her, because she already has a wealth of knowledge. And then others have gone through certifications before, and have a certification or certificate, and they've gone through it, but they didn't really feel like they got what they really need to be successful in business. And so they were drawn to this program because I combining the two, and there's a heavy emphasis on kingdom. Like that's big for me. And so because they're believers as well, that was very important for them. And so I'm grateful that I'm able to offer them what they need. And so that said, I'm gonna go. If you are someone who has a desire to be a coach, and you're looking for a certification program where you can not only gain the skill set, enhance your skill set, you can also create and build a coaching platform where you have the freedom to talk about God, and to pray with your clients, and to add value to their lives by helping them apply biblical principles. And if you're a coach who has a desire to maybe even transition into full-time business, and maybe you're just at a point where you're burned out with the whole, counseling world, or wherever you are, and you believe that God is calling you to the coaching space, then I want you to consider the Destiny Blueprint coaching certification, and I want you to schedule a interview with me. I still have a couple of openings available, just one or two, literally one or two available. And so I want you to go ahead and schedule your interview if this is something that you want more information about. Okay. And so I'm excited about this program. I've been working diligently behind the scenes, just getting everything together, getting my PowerPoints, my worksheets, the templates that they're going to be receiving. There, some of them are going to be, all of them really, are going to be a part of a practicum, which is more of like a VIP day where we're going to come together and we're going to do some group exercises and some facilitation. We're gonna get a lot of extensive training, um, behind us, and that we're going to be able to utilize in our businesses. And so I'm excited. I'm going to be planning that VIP day for them really, really soon. Going ahead and booking the conference room that we're going to be utilizing. So that's why I said, there's going to be some um, travel involved. So if you're in another state, a couple of them are in another state, but they're ready to travel in to Atlanta to join me there for the VIP day. And I may even open it up for other coaches to join us in the VIP day, because it will be an opportunity for us, because I believe iron sharpens iron. So it will be an opportunity for us to kind of glean from each other. So anyway, I'll have more details about that coming up. But if you want to be a part of the certification program, go ahead, go to my website. It's the one that's right down there, scrolling across, CandiceBWoods.com. You can check it out. There at the top is my calendar. You can go ahead and schedule your interview. And then also there is a required application that you can download and print, and complete. You will need one professional reference and one personal reference. It's required. All right. And also you'll need to complete that application process, and then we can schedule your interview. All right. And I can give you all the details, all the deets about the program and what you can expect, and we'll go from there. All right. All right. So again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you for listening to me. I hope that you all have a fantastic night. I'm about to hit the hay. Okay. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I've accomplished a lot today, and I'm proud of myself. I also just finished a podcast interview with the lovely Janice Vance, the marriage major, who had me on to talk a little bit about my first book called While I Wait. And what this waiting season has and journey has been like for me. And so I hope and pray that I added value. And so that particular podcast will be released on next Wednesday. So I'll be sharing that on this platform as well. All right. All right. God bless you. God keep you. I pray that you all have a great night and that you will rest well. In Jesus' name, good night.